go to the next panel discussion. Again, like I promised, this is also going to be one of the most a topic which is awaited, leveraging technology for employee well-being. Our panelists are, of course, the industry leaders joining us on stage. So moreover, what happens with the technology advancement so rapidly, numerous innovations are, of course, being made in and out. And in the field of wellness, of course, there are innumerous advancement and innovations that have been made. The potential for technology coupled with employee wellness solution is infinite. I would say it's endless. Of course, digital well-being platform and software have made implementing wellness program way far much more better than we used to do it earlier. Now they also have make it easy to promote awareness on health topics and of course engage employee in wellness activities. And of course, for these reasons, it is being implemented more extensively throughout organization worldwide. And so is the next topic coming up on stage, which is a panel discussion. And I shall call upon industry experts and the leaders on the stage, starting with Manisha Kelkar, CHRO, Nuvoco's Vistas. Can we have you on stage, please? Joining them will nice chemicals. Can we have both the panel on the stage, please? Joining them is Siddhartha Krishna, VP HR Navneet Education. Next is Sangeeta Parameswaran, Head HR Operations, Blue Star. Joining next will be Ajit Yadwadkar, SVP and Head HR, LoanTap Financial Technologies. Next will be Nikhil Save, Associate Senior VP HR, Mahindra Finance. And of course, our moderator for this fabulous session will be Dr. Jawahar, Executive Director, HR, Power Finance Corporation. Well, thank you so much. One by one, I'll request you to please be on stage and be seated as you ordered on the screens already. You can see Manisha Kelkar, CHRO, Nuvoco Vistas. Thank you so much for joining. Uday, Ghag, CHRO, Alkyl, Amines Chemicals. Siddhartha Krishna, VPHR, Navneet Education. Sangeeta Parameswaran, Head HR, Operations Blue Star. Ajit Yadwadkar, SVP and Head HR, LoanTap Financial Technologies. Nikhil Save, Associate Senior VP HR, Mahindra Finance. And these are our panelists. And joining them as a moderator today is Dr. Jawahar, Executive Director, HR Power Finance Corporation. And can we have a huge round of applause? Come on, zestful. This is the last panel discussion in absolutely productive topic. And of course, as an HR, there's a much required discussion which is going to happen right now. And over to Dr. Jawahar right now. Thank you so much for joining.
So good afternoon to you all. I am delighted to welcome all of you for this wonderful evening and this session on leveraging technology for the employees' well-being. In fact, I would like to also welcome our esteemed panel members. We are here to deliberate and discuss and share our thoughts on this very, very important but still most neglected area. Still, we are all striving and companies are struggling hard to serve the employees and keeping their well-being at high level. But nevertheless, most of the time we focus on employees' well-being, but it's not happening somehow, despite of the fact that we have good technology, advanced technology. Thanks to the COVID period, a couple of years before, still companies are struggling to keep the well-being of the employees high. Now, when we talk about well-being, what kind of well-being we are talking about? Are we talking about physical well-being, mental well-being, or emotional well-being, or spiritual well-being? In fact, I would say that it covers comprehensively all the four. Then only you'll be able to do justice to the welfare of employees. Rather, I would say that there are a lot of technology and advancement post-COVID period. It has come up to help the organizations. Many companies have developed applications customized for their employees' well-being. In fact, during our informal conversation, we've had talk that there are application. It has come that it will give a reminder to you that how many times you will have to say "I love you" to your partner. And there are application. It gives reminder to you how many times you have to take your partner to dinner or say sorry or thank you. So these kind of things are coming, but still we are struggling hard. Almost most of uh, the providers, service providers, I would say, they have developed their own online system to give yoga, meditation, or many other health services, even doctors. They're going, you all know, I don't have to evolve on it. So, in order to deliberate and discuss, we have a esteemed panel. Uh, to start with, I would like to, uh, in order particularly, all of you, you are aware that work-life balance, it's a big challenge, and how to manage the burnout due to work-life imbalance, that's also a question. So I would like to invite Mr. Siddhartha Khanna, who is presently heading HR in Navneet Education Limited. So he would be uh, giving your thoughts on work-life boundaries and preventing burnout. Mr. Siddharth, I would like to start this discussion particularly by asking a very simple question. In today's interconnected world, maintaining work-life boundaries, it has become increasingly challenging. How, in your organization, you have managed and what kind of strategy you have adopted to once keep the employees work-life imbalance and how you manage the burnout. You can share your own example and what's your thought in front of the panel members and also the listeners. Yes, Siddharth.
Sure, thanks, Jawahar. This is a very interesting question, and it takes me back to the time that it became imperative for all of us during the COVID era to think of this work-life balance. And I have this approach of starting with the very basics. So, when it came to work-life balance, the first thing that we did technologically was we have success factors at Navneet. So we had to set certain ground rules within the success factors that employees had to formally apply for the work from home. So that, and during COVID, it was more on the communication strategy for both the managers and employees, just to make sure that the work schedule is managed and it is more productivity based rather than time based. But as we crossed the COVID time period, we developed an application in Success Factors where we did mandate the employees that you have to apply for work from home and you have to, mention the activities to be completed, and the manager had to comment on that, and that's where the trust started building up, because once you complete your work, you also get the time to unwind, and it is not a hard and fast rule that you have to complete that 9 hours mandatorily. So that's the first thing that we did. In addition to this, when you talk about burnout, you just mentioned about burnout. So, see, burnout is something which happens, and you need to look at the reasons why burnouts happen in the first place. So, in a majority of cases, when it comes to employees, they did not know primarily as to how to efficiently, work from home. So, we did, study that, and we build certain guidelines within the applications also to see that they do basics like have a defined workplace, how to keep away from family responsibilities, because many times it does happen that you mix up the work with the family responsibilities and end up getting stressed out and burnt out like that. So all those things, and if it is something is absolutely very necessary, then there are rules to inform the managers prior, if you're taking a break from work. So some of these things, it worked very well. Currently, we are having a hybrid work model at Navneet. So we have employees who do work from home, who follow these rules very diligently within our application of Success Factors, and things are going on pretty well as of now.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Siddhartha. In fact, I would like to ask specifically, particularly when you talk about work-life balance. I am from a government organization. The fact is that the most affected people in the organization, when you talk about work-life balance, is the women employees. Women employees, they have to do a lot of justice within the organization, and also when they go home, they have to discharge a lot of responsibilities. So how do you feel in your organization, women employees, do they have any kind of complaint or challenge which it will be a takeaway for some of the people sitting here?
See, when it comes to women employees, of course, they have a different challenge managing the work front. So, uh, at Navneet, we have specially initiated policies, and we do factor in their challenges and give them that flexibility of working from home even for extended periods, because see, it's very important that they feel that the organization is behind them and helping them manage the challenge. And it's also about establishing specific connect with the women employees, understanding their challenges, and then developing customized solutions for them. It can't be a one size fit all strategy, because they have different problems that they're facing. So we have strategies like Navneet itself being in the education space, so helping with children's education, some counseling or anything. So we are helping out on all the fronts.
I would like to ask this question from Mr. Nikhil. So would you like to contribute, supplement what he said in your organization based on your
Okay, so,
experience?
yeah, sure. So, even before we start our discussion on what is it that we want to do for our employees, for our colleagues, from this perspective, what we have to be little sensitized and think of the empathy first, because that is the place where you actually get to know what kind of work, the workload that they are having, giving the proper responsibilities, having these are the set standards that we need to first look into before starting to go and offer our initiatives to them. The responsibilities, that there should be some standard operating procedures which needs to be there, so that this becomes easy to firstly manage the work which has been assigned to people and to various functions. So if you have these things properly laid in place, it becomes easier for us to start tracking, and thereafter we can start looking at what are the initiatives that we really want to drive, whether you go digital way or you go in-house way, is something which you need to look at. But these are the fundamentals that you first need to look at.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Siddhartha. Next, move on to we have in our organization, most of the organization, we provide a lot of benefits, particularly meaningful benefits, which has been there in all the organizations. And what are those meaningful benefits which is impacting employees' circumstances and their wellness? So, to deliberate on this, I would like to call upon Manisha Kelkar, who would like to throw some light on this area, particularly in your experience, ma'am. What specific employee benefits have proven to be the most impactful in the positively affecting their circumstances, both personally and professionally? With reference to specifically, have you developed any kind of new technology or kind of system which enables you to measure the impact of their wellness, or how that particular benefit, how it has impacted the performance of the employees? Can you throw some light on it?
Okay, so it's a good afternoon, everyone. Very elaborate question. Let me take it in bites.
Please.
So, first is this topic of wellness and the relevance of wellness today. So, I think we need to take a little larger perspective in terms of when we talk about wellness, wellness for employees, wellness for my company, but really what is happening in global economy vis-a-vis in India, where we are growing 7% plus GDP growth every quarter. With now this April, we have taken over China. We have become the most populated country in the world. So, and obviously there are opportunities. We have younger population, but there are so many factors that can cause stress for employees today. There is so much competition in the job market. Everybody wants to do well. And all of this, I think one more factor which is much larger beyond our organizations is how the social construct is changing. And so Siddharth touched upon it, saying that today it's not only my job, but it is also a lot about what's happening in my family and how that's affecting me. So when it comes to needs of families and family members, their also expectations have changed. What we do for kids, what we used to do for kids. So I remember when I started my career, we used to have, and I was then also in a manufacturing organization, we used to hold these summer camps for employees' children. That in summers, let's keep them engaged creatively. So there would be different summer camps and we would invite kids to factory. They will learn something and go back. And standard topics were okay. I am talking about 25 years back. You teach them computers, you teach them painting. It was fine. Today, if you think about having this kind of summer workshop for employees' children, the interests and the subjects are so vast. You cannot have one program. We had to do a tie-up with an organization which offers a plethora of courses, and then the employees' kids could choose based on their interest. Somebody wants to learn something, somebody something else, and right from space-related subjects to advanced bio to simple computers to different languages, everything was covered. So I think these changes also affect a lot, and few things which have worked in our environment. And in the middle of all this, of course, the basics of the physical wellness for employees, because I think post-COVID, the focus and the definition of wellness both have changed. It's not only your physical wellness, but mental wellness, the awareness about stress level, etc., has also increased. So on the physical wellness, we have very good policies in terms of annual health checkup followed by doctors' advices, etc. But in this field, what we have realized is there is a limit up to, I mean, there are many technical solutions available to do a lot more work in this space, but health related data is supposed to be confidential. So we have to be very careful when we say, okay, employee health data, if we are putting on some app and then we are saying this is available with company panel doctors all the time, that's not a good idea unless we have some written consent from employees, etc. So that's a little tricky area because it's considered a confidential thing. But availability, making different doctors and panels available is something that has worked, and we do that. A lot of flexibility in the insurance benefits, because I think all of us have experienced the hospitalization costs have gone up tremendously after COVID. So offering flexibility there so that the basic needs of the family are taken care, also enlarging it in a very unique way. For company, it's not easy. For those of you who are involved in the benefits administration will know, if you are giving a cover of 5 lakhs per employee, if you want to increase it to 8 lakhs, huge difficulty, because it's a lot of cost. So working with the insurance partners, we have managed to double it with that top up thing that you get. I think that has we have received huge what can I say? I mean, employees have been very happy with this change that we have done. We also have a wellness platform which is completely digitalized. So of course we have a partner for that, but employees can decide if they want to take a stress test and then get a report. Online, they can independently get in touch with the counselor who will explain the report to them. Post that, if they want to go on to having one-on-one counseling sessions with the counselor or attend different online sessions that these agency provides, they can do that. I'm not very sure. We've not reached the stage, though we have finished 1 full year actually of offering this benefit. We've not gone back to check the ROI of this, because you specifically asked me what is the ROI. So I have not reached that stage of calculating ROI, but the usage, I think one very important parameter is how months on months we have seen the usage going up. Initially, we had very few employees taking the test, then very few employees going to the stage of report interpretation, then slowly number of employees going for training programs, and then number of employees availing the counseling service has gone up. Of course, as an organization, we don't get insight into anything beyond these statistics, because this is very confidential and happens between employees and that platform. But yeah, these are some of the things we've been doing which have helped.
One measurement could be that many organizations, they do regular yoga and meditation session for the employees, and parallelly they are also doing medical expenses for their physical well-being, particularly for any ailments. So maybe they can measure, maybe after 1 or 2 years, after doing yoga or meditation, whether their medical expenses have come down, or is there any significant change in their improvement of their health. It could have been done using certain technology. That's what it could be a food for thought, that in our organization we have done that and we have measured it. Anyway, thank you so much, Manisha. Now, next things what it comes to my mind is that innovative wellness resources for busy professionals. Yes, when you keep the organization busy, HR people also have to keep themselves busy. And people sitting here, you know very well, enabling and equipping HR itself is a big task. I think I would like to request Sangeeta Parameswaran to dwell upon certain thought on how we are innovatively given wellness resources for the busy professionals in the organization. It will give some kind of food for thought, particularly how we can use technology in for busy professionals so that they will keep themselves high and their performance also goes up. Yes,
Thank you.
Sangeeta. Yes.
So, in my opinion, I think for busy professionals, the gateway for all workplace aspirations is the workplace well-being. Okay, because that's where health is hygiene. Okay, and like it said, swasth hai, jaan hai, to jaan. Okay, so in that context, what we are doing at Blue Star is we have tied up with certain partners who are known in the health arena. One of them is Environics, whom you heard this morning. And we've tied up with them for well-being on environmental. So in terms of the geopathic stress and the electrosmog that Mr. Ajay spoke about, Ajay Podar, and we also have tied up for digital and personal well-being. So we have a platform wherein you get a score of a person and then they draw their own customized health plan in terms of what is their health objective that they want to reach. We have also had this program. So we did this about 3-4 months back across 5 of our larger establishments. And thereafter, as we count down to 2024, we have designed a Wellness 360 program wherein we have these employees who can voluntarily sign up for the program, and as their countdown to 2024 to a healthier you in 2024, sign up for a customized program wherein they are given in terms of whatever health goal that they want to take, which is also augmented with a mental aspect. Because many times what happens, because like earlier I was working in Kaya Life, which was a lifestyle management, lifestyle counseling firm. And many times you know what to do, okay, and you know how to do, but you just don't know where to start, or it is last on your priority list, nice to do, okay, but not right here, right now in your list of must to do. So in that sense, also working on the mind. So we also, and one thing that we have realized is also a tie-up that we did with this platform called FuroFit, which is an app. Nothing beats you like competition. Okay, people, in addition, as human beings, in addition to being social, we are competitive in nature. So to have a leaderboard in place, have different competitions, like besides the usual, walk 10,000 steps and more, we have this program which is like Kashmir to Kanyakumari. So the more you walk, what is the distance that you have traversed? So some kind of gamification that you do. And in addition, all those things which come in the way of making a lifestyle change. So those are aspects that we are weaving on into these kind of programs with Purofit, with Environics. One point that I must make here is a big challenge is the mental well-being piece. Because about a year ago, we launched this platform called Mind Matters. And the person who helped me launch this is in the audience, Anushri Chaturvedi. And in fact, we are having a very tightrope walk. Right, Anushri, in terms of having people sign up for this program, because however anonymous that the platform is very many times people are very apprehensive, or in the first place, mujhe iski zarurat nahi hai. That's the kind of thinking that we are on a tightrope walk to change. And lastly, in terms of just drawing the question of ROI, I think the biggest ROI is, or rather the biggest test, before ROI, the biggest test of whether your program is successful is the pull. Because I believe as HR professionals, half the time we are on the side of or managing management decisions. The other half, we are chasing employees to, sign up for the programs that we launch. So having said that, I feel that if there is a strong pull for your program, and that happened on Furofit, how we realized that the Furofit program is working is when I actually heard my EVP of the service business speak to my CHRO as to where are you on the leaderboard and where am I on the leaderboard. Then I knew, okay, right from the biggies are hooked, then definitely my Gen Z and the other millennials are hooked in. And ROI, I think, is a larger aspect in terms of how engaged, how people feel that the workplace is caring for me, how engaged they feel at the workplace. Another piece that we are also thinking of doing at an emotional well-being piece is all of us have some kind of passions or interests or talent. Okay, so we are trying to build a platform wherein we have people of similar interests, similar hobbies come together, and then also pursue their passion. It could be cricket, it could be singing, it could be guitar. I am into bird watching, the feathered kind, and I think a lot of us are into different passions, and if you connect people together, that can add to emotional well-being. So that's a plethora of activities that you can do, available in the market. You pick, choose, customize to your audience, and I'm sure it will work. That's all.
That is wonderful, Sangeeta. Very comprehensively, you have given how innovatively you have been doing For the busy person, I could see when we came here, you are parallelly handling both office as well as what you are going to do here. So that could demonstrate how you manage innovatively as a busy executive. Move on to the next area of concern, that is targeted well-being and enhanced productivity. So there is another concern we thought about it. To deal with this, we have with us Mr. Ajit Yadwadkar, who is head of HR from LoanTap. My question to you, Mr. Ajit, is that how does targeted well-being tailored to individual employee needs contribute to enhanced productivity within an organization? How do you manage this?
So it's like how to measure the intangible, sort of. So I'll come to that. I'll share what we do at LoanTap on similar lines to what Sangeeta said. So we have thought of wellness overall, like-minded individuals coming together. So what we have done is we have formed different communities. There's a health and fitness community that we have formed. There's a LoanTap Cares community where like-minded people come together so that they can volunteer for social causes. There is a women's divas community where obviously women come. They have sessions. Someone from outside comes. Business women comes. They have sessions. They also go party and so there are different communities. Okay, so one of them is the health and fitness community, which is a self-energizer. So there are people who go to gym, they will put their pictures that yes, today I've done this much. There are people who run half marathons. There are people who do many other stuff in terms of health fitness. They are very cautious in terms of their diet, food, etc. So this community is actually encouraging each other. The members encourage each other to do a lot of stuff, and obviously it takes some stuff from the HR. They are doing the HR work. There are other things that we do. We try to put our best foot forward. So we have tied up with Cult Fit, which all of us must be knowing. So these are gym memberships. So we don't pay upfront. What we say is that if an employee is regular, in a quarter he goes to the gym for these many days, so we'll reimburse him the amount. Okay, that puts accountability to that employee. Then when there are treks, so we say that okay, we'll pay 50% of the treks. I mean the amount, whatever the amount is there. So this is how it's not a cost cutting measure, it's trying to put accountability that employee will feel that yes, I have some responsibility from my end. More important things that we have done is again health checks that we have done especially for 35 and above, and we found out that many of the people who consider themselves as fit, they have come on the borderline. So we have devised programs for them in terms of what the outcome is. So what we have found out is okay, and last thing is we have also tied up with an app called as Anio, which is a recent app. You might be heard about it. There are certified trained psychiatrists who are there on the other side. An employee can connect with them anytime, and all the conversations are anonymous. So that's the the biggest use of tech that is happening over there, because in today's maybe the virtual people prefer someone who is virtual, who will not share his data with others. Okay, so that is something we have implemented right now. I don't have the data regarding that, but if I see the impact and in general how we measure is there's reduced stress levels. We have also done meditations sessions, and we have seen that overall the stress levels have reduced. What we also found out that there's reduced absenteeism among employees, and overall they are much more accepting of most of the things in terms of work.
That's amazing, Mr. Ajit. Uh, you have said that you have talked to like-minded people, bring the people, like-minded people together. Now, I would like to take the help from Mr. Uday. How, uh, how to identify the well-being needs of the like-minded people and enable them to serve the society? Can you please throw some light on it? It will be helpful for the audience.
See, basically, when we talk about wellness, yes, certainly, since I'm in a chemical sector, it's statutory for us to do the medical checkup, once in a year. We do twice in a year, basically, once from the external doctors, team of doctors, one from the internal doctors, and we always monitor. But then most important is their mental wellness. Now, see, our employee, he is our human resource. Okay. He is a full person, 8 hours or 10 hours he works in the organization, but rest of the hours he is at his home or in the society. So we have to ensure that, when he comes to the workplace from his home or from his society, he is having a very calm mind. So at home, there has to be peace. And as all of us know, घर में शांति होनी चाहिए. So what we did, this I am telling you when I did 32 years ago in my first organization, we introduced social groups. So the people living in and around the factory, wherever they stay, their residences, we form a social group, and then we started interacting their families, and then with different programs. So that helped us a lot. Another thing what we did is, see, basically in L&D we do training for the employees, but we extended that training for the spouse also. Basically there were male maximum, only 20, 30 females were there. So what we did is, for the employee spouse, that is their wives, we started conducting different training programs. So which also included, cooking, or on various different subjects, like etiquettes or grooming and all these things. This is, I'm talking about 32 years back what we started, and that really helped. Yes, apart, as someone said, for the children's also we had many programs, and that brought, mental fitness or mental wellness in the employee. Apart from that, it brought one cohesiveness. The family started feeling oneness with the organization. And I will narrate. Those days were the days when Dr. Sama's union was there, and we had a strike. We had a strike after 6 months of signing a very good settlement with Dr. Samant. Dr. Samant to IC settlement sign ही नहीं करता था. It was very good. But still there was some issues, couple of issues, and then there was a flash strike which converted into a prolonged strike. Okay. So at that time, this what we were doing, it came to our rescue. The family members started telling, the child started telling, Daddy, why are you on strike? Company से आपका क्या झगड़ा है? Company तो इतनी अच्छी है. So then, I think that was the first time when Dr. Samant had to strike back. Anyway, we made it a win-win situation because there has to be face saving. Yeah. But such type of programs, connecting with not only with the employees but with their families certainly helps.
Thank you.
Even the productivity also.
Thank you so much. You have supplemented very nicely to Mr. Ajit's point. And now when we interacted with all the panelists, what we have come to know is that every organization, they have developed some application, some new innovation to reach out to employees on their well-being. Now, our concern is that effectiveness of this wellness app, how far it is useful and effective for hybrid employees particularly. So my question to Mr. Nikhil is that for hybrid employees, how do you evaluate the effectiveness of wellness app in managing and improving mental health and overall well-being, Mr. Nikhil.
Thank you, Jawahar. So I will take a little step back. Now, we were talking about a lot of initiatives that we want to do for our employees, whether we want to go digital way or all of that. First of all, the first step that we need to look at is what is it that the organization wants? What is it that the employee actually need? Because otherwise we are just saying that, okay, we want this and we will drive it. And therefore we will look into it and we will through it, whether we need it or we don't need it, the organization needs it or doesn't need it. So the first thing that we need to know is do a deep study of whether what are the things that we actually want to give it to the employee, whether that's the thing which employee even want. Okay, now having analyzed that, what we should look at is now today if we are spread across the country, like we are spread across in almost like 1,400 locations, will we be able to reach out to all the people the last mile with the benefits that we will be giving them? Otherwise, all these benefits and everything remains by and large limited to the head office or the regional office. But we should look at how is it that we will be able to track and manage the last mile down the line. Now the question which comes up is partners. Which are the partners that we should look at if at all we want to go the digital way, right? Now, when we're looking at the partners, we should look at their capabilities in terms of whether they have the digital reach in all of these cities, maybe A, B, C, D, so on and so forth. Also, what we need to look at is whether they have the outreach at every location that we have, because no matter how much ever we do, by and large it will be to the major metros, maybe sub-metros as well at the best. But if we are able to get that right partner to ensure that we are able to give it and deliver it to the last mile, we have probably achieved some goal. Now it doesn't end there. Having said that, we have understood that this is the need, we have identified the partner, then what we need to look at is the communication part. Now, it is the most critical part to even launch anything in the organization, unless and until people have been told, communicated as to why we are doing it and how will they benefit it. You may not get the kind of reach or the kind of acceptance by the employees. You may keep on doing it, but it is important for us to make sure that the communication is extended to the people. They have been explained as to what it is, how do they manage this digital app or all of that stuff. Now, the role of the partner comes in very critical when each of your employee is given that king treatment. Okay, now if for that matter we are talking about various sessions, whether yoga session or health checkups and all of that, it has to be absolutely easy for that person to make sure that it is they can operate it. And now that they have operated it, the partner should be in a position to handhold the person till that initiative is completed by that person. Okay, now you have understood the need of the organization, you have understood what the right partner, you have done the communication with your organization and employees across the country. The need is to understand what has happened till date and how the people have been benefited with these initiatives. So it is important in midway somewhere to communicate back that we have got so much of coverage done, so many people have been benefited, and so on and so forth. Because that helps the other people to get motivated, to get connected to these initiatives that organizations drive. And having done that, probably at the end of the day, when you are end of the year, you have to actually tell them that, hey, this was the feedback that we've received. We have worked on your feedback. We have changed certain things. So people feel that, yes, we are listening to them on whatever feedbacks they have been giving us throughout the year. Now, what are the initiatives that we want to do? we can do n number of initiatives, whether it's physiological health, we talk about psychological health, we talk about health checkups, walkathons, marathons, and everything can go into the gamification. But at the end of the day, when we are going back to them, we have to see if there is a smile on the face of the employees, because that is what it will capture the crux of our initiatives. And once we have that, we have to make sure that we have communicated that back to them. So right from the time that we are even wanting to know what is it that we want to do for our employees, communication is the important thing that we need to look at. And if you miss any of this and you do all of that, you may end up nowhere because you have not done enough of communication.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Nikhil. In fact, very elaborate.
Mr. Jawahar,
Uday
Uday
wants
wants
just
to say
add to this.
Yes.
So yeah, communication is just certainly important, and town hall meetings and all such things really help. One more thing, actually, I want to just put forth is when we talk about employees, mostly we consider our on-roll employees who are on the company's roll. But in most of the organizations now, there is on-roll and contractual employees, 50-50 mostly. So, see, these 50% of the contractual employees are really the persons who are toiling. So, when we talk about wellness, we should not forget that remaining 50, 40, whatsoever percentage is, because they are also contributing to a larger extent to the productivity of the organization.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Uday. Now we are running short of time, but still very important thing which we will have to cover. Particularly when we talk about effectiveness of wellness app for hybrid employees, I would like to pose this question to Mr. Siddhartha, is that how analytics, HR analytics, it is going to be helpful in measuring the effectiveness of this wellness app, how it both can be interlinked, and how it is going to be useful while you measure the impact of effectiveness of this wellness app, particularly for hybrid employees. Mr. Siddhartha.
Yes, see, HR analytics, I would say, is the backbone. I'll tell you why. Because while my esteemed colleagues were talking about different initiatives, what is very important for us to understand is that all of us, I mean, the entire fraternity sitting here in HR, we are managing employees in different age groups. So when we talk about wellness, so their needs are very different. So when we are talking about a very young set of people, their needs are different. Middle age, their needs are different. People nearing retirement, their needs are different. And believe me, like in our case at Navneet, I can tell you that we have defined first of all a statement which is like healthy employees are happy employees are productive employees, and that's what we've told the management that's how we have to drive this. And secondly, I'll just throw some very important insights in front of all of you is that when we just did an analytics of the health checkup that we did for employees, would you believe that 85% of the employees are deficient in vitamin D? That's number one. Number two, most of our sales employees are high on LDL cholesterol. Many cases borderline sugar, and then more than 75% people are way away from their BMIs, right? So these are things, and see, whenever you tie up with any service provider, you first need to understand your population very well. Now, with these analytics and the insights thrown to management, it has given us the wherewithal, the muscle power to actually get the finances and then tie up with someone very meaningfully. That's number one. Number two is that, see, it cannot be a one-size-fit-all. When you are especially managing a hybrid workforce also, see, the requirements are very, very different. So it has to be based on deep-rooted analytics, and we need to evolve. We need to continuously evolve. This is a journey. This will not be a destination. So analytics will keep throwing you insights. You need to keep making course corrections and continue to evolve. And and also make sure that every section of your population that you're managing has customized initiatives being driven for them. financial well-being, we talked about emotional well-being, social well-being, physical well-being. All these aspects have to be catered to, by the HR professionals for their employees through different strategies.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Siddhartha. Very valid and well said. Before we conclude, we would like to also touch upon very, very important aspect to manage technology and also to manage the well-being of people in the organization. What we require is the culture. What kind of culture we are promoting, and how culture influences whatever we do, or whatever we do, how it has got impact on the culture of the organization, how culture will be supportive for the employees' welfare. Again, I would like to request the help of Mr. Uday Ghag. Please help us in throwing light on these areas.
See, basically, when you talk about the culture, there has to be a caring employer. The organization has to be caring. See, it's a very sensitive resource whom we are engaging, and to get most out of that, we have to treat him like a family member. So, in most of my organization where I work, I was fortunate to have the employers who are caring, who treats the employees like a family, and that actually really helps. So we have many incidences, we have many medical schemes or many facilities, but sometimes, such incidents occurs in the employee's life, which is not covered by any scheme or anything. So then at that time, we have one more scheme wherein, in such cases, when the medical expenses goes beyond the scheme, there is a contributory scheme. The employees contribute voluntarily and equal matching contribution from the employer. So whether it is 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs, because in case of cancer and all, the cost is very high. So we do that. Another thing is, still if the funds are short, without any limit, the employer himself from his personal pocket, he contributes. I know during the COVID times, there were many such cases, and the employer was kind enough to help financially all those cases. Not a single case was left. So that is the approach what you have, and certainly if you have a caring approach, it will really pay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Uday. Friends, we have dealt with many areas, particularly matters concerning employees' well-being. Particularly, we dealt with work-life boundaries and how to prevent burnout, and also meaningful benefits which is impacting the employee's circumstances. We have also dealt with innovative wellness resources for busy professionals, and targeted well-being and enhanced productivity also we have dealt with. The effectiveness of wellness app and its impact, that also we dealt with, and also we have dealt with on supportive work culture and how it has impacted. So overall, if you see, our Siddhartha has dealt with elaborately on HR analytics also at last, while he has given the work-life balance boundaries. Manisha has talked a lot about what are the good benefits which she has been experiencing in her organization and how it has impacted. And also Sangeeta has given a lot of areas, particularly how lifestyle management, and she has also created mental well-being, mind matters, that they have created through various interventions that they have done. And Ajit, he has talked about like-minded individuals, how they have created, and others have contributed a lot in that. And wellness apps and its impact, that is dealt by Nikhil. All these things, lastly even work culture, it was dealt with. All these things, it talks one thing, that when organization takes care of employees, employees will take care of organization. That is the philosophy behind which this whole process of discussion, which we have been doing, and HR fraternity as a whole, they are doing it for the welfare of employees so that they will be contributing to the growth of the organization. In fact, I would say that whatever we do, whatever be the technology, it has come in the field to help the individuals, and whatever be the physical activity, yoga, and many other things which has come in our day-to-day life. What I have seen is that it has not simplified our lives, rather it has complicated our life. It's a time that we have to introspect. Why such kind of complex and complication it has come, despite of the fact that we have a lot of technology, despite of the fact that we are working out more, we are thinking for the welfare of the organization, employees, still it's a question unanswered. Why our complexities, our suffering, why it is increasing? Is it due to technology itself, or it's due to the way in which we look at the things? So let us see the things differently, and let us work for the growth of the employees so that organization and employees grow together. With these few words, I would like to conclude. Thank you so much for all the members.
1 minute. I think we have some time for Q&A. So in case we have any questions, we would be glad to answer them.
Yes.
Mic passed there. Wait a minute. Can we have the mic passed? Yeah.
Hi, my name is Kajal. I work as HRBP with Cloud Excel. So as an HRBP, this topic of employee well-being is very close to me. So, with the recent survey, I just found out that I just was chatting with one of the employees, and he said he was basically 45. So he's saying he has money, he has everything, but he doesn't have a work-life balance. Now, after evaluating and after doing some study, what I thought that 15 years back, when employees were not able to take their test the systems at home, they were very happy. Now, everywhere the employee goes, whether it is a wedding, picnic, holiday, even at home, they are carrying the work at home. So, is there any way where people are again going to Stone Age and living in forest and all? So, do you think in future, when we talk about employee well-being, again we should get the systems instead of laptops, so they don't carry the work at home? As he said that the sufferings are increasing because we are carrying work everywhere. To be honest, even in the washrooms as well, we are just scrolling on Outlook emails. So is there any way that we can deal with that?
Yeah, I'll take that. I think it is the way, please have a seat. I think it is the way that we are looking at it. We are looking for work-life balance, which in my opinion is a farce. There's not going to be any work-life balance, how much ever we cry ourselves hoarse. The reason being, now what we require is work-life integration. So in many aspects, if you see, for example, say I have a daughter and my daughter has a parent-teacher meeting, which requires me to be there from say 11 to 1, then am I able to take time off work, be there without taking a half day, then go back to work, and I complete my deliverables during the course of the day. Maybe work a little later in the night. So your laptop is very important. I feel it is the way you use your laptop or you use your tablet which is the culprit. So in terms of, if you look at work-life integration so that I'm able to cater to my personal responsibilities as well as cater to my office responsibilities, then I think that is the way to look at it in terms of work-life integration. Other aspects is, I feel sometimes you have to set your boundaries. You have to prioritize things. Like sometime before the session, there was one thing that required my urgent attention, so I got on to a Zoom. Okay, but otherwise it would have required me to cut short the program and then rush to office. So there are big advantages of technology. I think it is our wisdom on how we use that technology. It will be all pervasive, but at the same time, don't let it be intrusive. That's the way I look at it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very beautifully captured, Sangeeta. I will just top it up. I think, and it was part of, I think, panel discussion, but it never came up. All of us today are very excited about this next technology wave of AI-enabled technology, etc. But I think we are at a very nascent stage. So as we understand this technology well and really start working with it, then I think these things which happen, like, the need for humans to be available for different decisions, hopefully should go down. And then work-life integration should become easier.
Very well said. And I think any more questions do we have? We have. We have few minutes, so we can definitely make it more interactive. Can we have the mic? Someone to pass the mic? Yeah. No, sir, we have already arranged someone to get the mic there.
Hello. Hello, panel. Some lovely insights I've received tonight evening, and I've also noted down few apps that I would want to explore post this session. So I'm Priyanka Redkar. I lead HR for One Finance. So when we talk about employee well-being or employee engagement, we generally talk about physical well-being and mental well-being. Seldom I have heard of anyone talk about financial well-being. So anyone who would want to have a take on that, financial well-being as a part of employee well-being.
Yeah, actually, you want to go?
And sorry, excuse me. When I'm saying financial well-being, I am wanting you all to go a little beyond life insurance and term insurance.
Yeah, so I'll go. Maybe you can go. So I mean, as I said, we had formed communities. So there was one name which I didn't take. So we had formed a community called as Rokda community. So this again community focused on the financial aspects, like basic education in terms of what is investment, what is saving, how you work on those aspects. So so LoanTap is from NBFC lending background, so we found it in-house people who worked on it. But what we found out was it was not working in a push manner. So I mean, people who were interested really, they were just asking the questions. But overall, I think it's a matter when people realize, maybe once they have a baby or something, that's when most people realize that they need to work upon. So I think we can provide the resources, but probably there needs to be a pull from the employees as well.
Sure. And what happens is, being from financial background, I think it's a little easier for us in the finance sector. People from non-finance sector really struggle with that, right? So I think it's also kind of an onus on the HR fraternity to provide that for their employees. And I'm saying that because I've been in the finance industry from last 13 years, and now I'm part of One Finance, and we're in the space of personal finance advisory. So this is one of the services that we are offering to corporates, and they're really stunned by it because they didn't know something like this exists, right? And a lot of people are now reaching out to us to avail these services. So thank you for answering my question.
Well, thank you. Do we have any more? We're going to take just one last question from you then.
Sorry, in the meantime, the gentleman is answering to add on to your question. What we need to also look at is what is our management's philosophy. So if our management is supportive, we can also look at, you talked about insurance, which is Mediclaim, life. As a part of our negotiations with our vendors who provide these facilities, you can also look at how you can make sure that even the parents are included in that, medical benefits. If there is a top up that you can buy for them because you already have your base policy. So those are the things which you can evaluate while going and speaking to your insurance companies or insurance brokers who come to you and talk to you about it. The other thing that you can also look at when you're talking about financial benefits is, as an organization, would you really want to spend monies on building the capabilities? So regularly, you may keep on doing all the initiatives to build the capabilities, but from an individual perspective, if there are any capabilities that he wants to inculcate and build, maybe you can also give him some benefits there and support him in terms of the higher education that he wished to take. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think this panel discussion was very much awaited because we have lined up questions. Quickly, we'll take 2-3 questions and we'll have to be quickly arranging it. Sir, please go ahead quickly.
Hi, my name is Piyush. I'm from Econ Care. We're primarily into health benefits. One of the very popular questions, because we've been talking about employee well-being, so very popular question that I've been getting today has been, how do we drive adoption of these benefits? Sir, Nikhil sir did briefly touch upon it in terms of communication, but I would want to understand, should there be KRAs for the employers or the stakeholders with respect to driving adoption and utilization? Or should it be forced upon employees to ensure that there is more participation, which is basically, there are organizations which also put it in their appraisals, right, as a part of the appraisal process. So what is the right mix to ensure that there is adoption of these benefits? Because I'm assuming that the entire organization or this space, the HR community is now well aware that well-being has become extremely important. But what is that we could do to ensure that there is brilliant adoption of these benefits in the right in the best benefit way possible? Yeah, that's the question.
So, you want to go? Please.
Yeah, this question will lead to another round of panel discussion because each one will have our own take on this. But if we stay centered on the purpose of the whole thing, which is wellness, and if that's the focus, then I think including it in KRAs will just add another layer of stress on it and nobody would want it. Better approach would be to keep it voluntary, let people experience it, and then they become brand ambassadors for other colleagues, and that's how it picks up naturally.
What is more important is, we should achieve the objective. So, as she rightly mentioned, that KRAs should be the last resort. So you should look at some other initiatives to just drive home the point. Maybe encouragement, maybe more awareness, and then slowly, based on the population and the adoption, you may try slightly different strategies. But straight away going for this may be slightly too rigid.
Correct. We have one gentleman, I think, wanting to, two actually, yeah. The last, yeah, okay, yeah.
Hello, good evening,
Your question
everyone.
is covered in.
Yeah, I'm Sayok from JSW Steel. As a compliance, we see certain employee well-being things going in the plants, but during the measurement, we see that digitization of everything. How much we are doing, how much we are not doing. So it is also stressing the HR and the compliance part of the employees, especially the team of HR. As well as if we talk about the employees, they also do not participate. So there is also a stress level there. There we talk about the employees who are not participating. So how to manage those well-being of digitization?
See, the thing like in Blue Star, what we are driving currently is high tech, high touch. So while you're adopting technology doesn't mean that you lose sense, you lose that human connect. So what I'm trying to say is the communication that is there shouldn't be like a generalized meal. The communication around what you are launching on your digital platform should be something with certain personal examples. I'll just tell you because there was an example that came up of financial well-being. So if you're going to catch say Gen Z and tell them about a retirement plan, it is not going to appeal to anyone. No one is going to sign up for your app. Okay, the same way if and say if you give them programs of certain less risky investments but low returns, that's not going to attract Gen Z. So you really have to look, one size doesn't fit all, as one of my colleagues mentioned, and you need to look at what is it that is going to create a pull. कभी क्रिकेट मैच के लिए पुल क्रिएट करना पड़ा है, पुश क्रिएट करना पड़ा है? नहीं. There is always a pull, right? So in terms of even if you are say having a match, okay, something which is common, we do HR conducts HR cricket matches and there is always a great pull of an audience. So the same thing in terms of what is it, so in terms of gamification, in terms of certain things that attract as per the TG, you have to break down your employees into different target groups as per their age and stage in life, then it will appeal to them. Try it on yourself. Does it appeal to you? And then if you stop doing it as a checkbox for HR, I think it'll work. That's how I would call it, in terms of an application of digitization will happen when the person sees what is in it for me. Because we all have aged parents who have somehow or the other learned how to manage WhatsApp, how to do YouTube, how to manage Google Pay. They have learned despite their apprehensions. They have all gone on to the digitization platform because they've seen there is something in it for them. So the same hook if we create, I'm sure we'll have many more people subscribe to what you have to offer. That's the way I look at it.
I will just add to that in one line. Basically, you may be going for digitalization, but there has to be a human touch. So your local HR, as well as you have to sell these schemes to your line managers. They are also the HR managers, and they have to sell to the down the line. So there has to be, apart from the digitalization, there has to be a human touch, one-to-one interaction from the management side. So that's not only the job of HR, but even the line managers. So you have to educate them, you have to sell them to them.
Fabulous. I think very well answered. Can we have a huge round of applause for such a fabulous discussion earlier? And I must say, absolutely commendable, very productive, and very, very knowledgeable. And I think many people have taken home a lot of learning from this panel discussion. Thank you so much. Absolutely pleasure having all the industry leaders and experts out here. I'll request everyone to please come forward for a group picture. And thank you so much. And like literally, can we have a zestful round of applause, please? Well, our panelists, of course, consist of the industry experts, and wow, what a discussion. Panelists, be with us. I'll call upon Mr. Tirumalanath to come and felicitate Tirumalanath, Senior Vice President and Business Head, South Asia, Adrenaline E-Systems, on stage to felicitate our panelist and moderator for this absolutely phenomenal panel discussion out here. I'll call upon Manisha Kelkar, CHRO, Nuvoco Vistas, to please come ahead and accept the token of memento. And also requesting people to please be there. We have one round of a gift hamper to be giving away. And calling upon Uday, Ghag, CHRO, Alkyl, Amines Chemicals out here. Thank you so much for joining, and absolutely pleasure listening to you and your valuable input out here. Requesting Siddhartha, Krishna, VPHR, Navneet Education to please come forward and accept the token of memento. Thank you for joining. Calling upon Sangeeta, Parameswaran, Head HR Operations, Blue Star. What a fabulous insight, I must say. Thank you, ma'am, for being here. Requesting Mr. Ajit, Yadwadkar, Senior Vice President and Head HR, LoanTap Financial Technologies, to accept the memento. And calling upon Nikhil Save, Associate Senior VP HR, Mahindra Finance. Well, I must say, very, very valuable inputs from our industry leaders. And last but not the least, our moderator of this phenomenal session, Dr. G. Jawahar, Executive Director, HR, Power, Finance Corporation. Please accept the memento, and literally can we have a huge round of applause, everyone, whoever present here. Thank you so much, an absolutely zestful day. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, panel.